Hello and welcome to Vegas Aces AMA. I'm your host, Heather Ferris, and today I am going to be answering your questions. So if you have a question, put it in the live chat and I will get to the order. I will answer it in the order that it is received. If you are watching this after the live stream, go ahead and put your question in the comments section. And the next time I do an AMA, I will answer your questions. So I am going to try and do this once every 2 weeks. So if you have any questions about how to play casino games, how to deal casino games, or if you have a question about inventing a casino game, this is the place to ask. So while we are waiting for everyone to come in and put your questions in the live chat, I will go over some housekeeping. We are really, really excited. We have a bunch of new stuff for you coming out. If you hadn't already noticed, we changed our YouTube schedule. So you are going to be receiving 4 videos per week. On Monday, we are doing ASMR. So hopefully the people out there who like ASMR will be really excited about this. On Wednesday, we are going to be doing a educational video. And this week we did gifts, dealers who receive gifts. Next week we are going to be doing a whole video on the Lunar New Year because that's going to be starting this Saturday. And then on Thursdays, we're going to have an AMA or we're going to have an interview video. So next week, for example, we will do an interview video. And then on Fridays, we are going to have a funny short. Angela, you'll see Angela for most of this. Angela will be the voice that you hear on the ASMR videos, and she will be the one doing the educational videos. And thank God she'll be doing the Friday hilarious shorts because she is such a wonderful actress and does such a great job. I've seen a few of the shorts, the raw video, and I'm just laughing my butt off. It's so funny. So again, if you guys have any questions about how to play casino games, how to deal casino games, or how to invent casino games, go ahead and put that in the live chat and I will get to that as soon as we're done with the housekeeping. And if you have any questions about like any of the new updates, you can put that in there too. So not only do we have a new YouTube schedule, I also updated the rewards on our Patreon. So please go check that out. For our rewards, we have the dollar reward, which will be coaching new dealers. So if you want tips or hints or just some really good advice for new casino dealers, we put that at the dollar level, so that way you would have that information as cheaply as possible. I understand that times are hard, so that's why we made this the lowest tier possible. If you do the $4 tier, which is the next highest tier on Patreon, you get all of our videos 5 days ahead of time. So that is really exciting. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. Another thing that is brand new is we are going to be doing new things on the website, vegas-aces.com. We are going to have 6 to 5 flashcards coming out. A lot of you have been asking for those 6 to 5 flashcards. We have 3 to 2 blackjack flashcards, but as you may have noticed, casinos have taken a lot of that out, and most of the blackjack games are 6 to 5. So we've had a lot of requests for 6 to 5 flashcards. So we are going to be posting that here pretty soon. We are also working on new instruction manuals, and we will be posting that on the website as well. And another fun announcement about the website is we are getting about 10,000 viewers a month on our website. So I'm really excited about that. It has grown exponentially. And I am just really excited to share that. So again, if you have any questions on how to play casino games, how to deal casino games, or how to invent casino games, put that in the chat. As soon as I'm done with this housekeeping, we will answer those questions. Another thing is we have a new TikTok account. So go check that out, Vegas Aces. We are going to be posting a lot of our shorts and funny videos on there. And if you want more of this, we have a live stream on the Wizard of Oz channel, The Odds Must Be Crazy, with Michael Shackelford, coming up today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we really hope that you can join us on there as well. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what questions you have. Hey, Joey, good to see you. So Joey asks, how do you carry on when the croupier drops a check? Good question. This happens a lot, more than you may think. We're human. Dealers are human. So we will make mistakes. We will drop things. Not a big deal. If the dealer notices that the check was dropped, they will typically pause the game and call over the floor supervisor. The floor supervisor will pick up the check, whether that is on the dealer side or the player side, and just check it out, make sure that everything looks good, and then they will put the check back in play. If the player drops a check on their side, no big deal, go pick it up. If the dealer drops a check and it lands on the player's side, then the floor supervisor will either pick it up or take it from the player who picked it up, just double check it, and then put it back into play. So if you have any more questions, please put it in the chat so we can go through them. I've had several questions this week about if you are a casino dealer and you want to learn new games. Let's say you are dealing blackjack and you want to learn new games. You do not have to pay to go to school to learn new games. You actually can get paid to learn new games while you are working. So what you do is you go on your break. So you get tapped out, clap out, go on break. When you do that, go up to the floor supervisor of the game that you want to learn. So let's say, for example, you want to learn roulette. The floor supervisor who is supervising that game, go up to him and ask him if you can practice the game. If you're just brand new and learning, let the floor supervisor know, hey, I don't know how to deal this game, but I want to learn. Is it okay if I go and watch the game? You always want to watch the game first and see what the dealer is doing before you ever try dealing the game yourself. Typically, he'll say yes. If he doesn't say yes, it's usually because he has a high roller on the table, or there is something that is taking up his attention in either that game or another game in his pit that he has to focus on. So, for example, if there's a card counter on a blackjack table that he has to keep an eye on, he doesn't want to have to watch you as well. It's not anything against you. Just try again on your break or go to a different pit and ask another floor supervisor. When you do this, he'll typically say yes. So you can go up to the table and let the dealer know that you are learning the new game. They will walk you through it. With roulette, especially, you could be a mucker, which means that you're going to be picking up the checks while the dealer deals. And you can watch the dealer, see what they do, learn from them. If they know that you're learning the new game, they will pretty much walk you through it. They'll let you know, like, hey, you do this first, you do this second, watch out for this, look for that, this is what and they'll walk you through the game, which is super helpful. And again, you're going to be paid during all of this. You don't have to pay anyone. After you have done that for a while and you feel more comfortable with the game, then you can ask the floor supervisor if you could try it out. Now, roulette is a little bit harder. So, for example, you would need practice spinning the ball, or you would need practice pushing the checks, which, by the way, if you go to our website, we have a whole guide on how you push the checks. the hand placements and everything, what you do. When you practice this, pick a dead game. Pick a game that has no players on it and ask the floor supervisor, hey, is it okay if I practice spinning the ball or snapping the ball? Is it okay if I practice pushing the checks? And typically he'll say yes. And this is great to do, again, when there's no players on the table, especially spinning the ball, because I guarantee you that ball is going to fly out of the wheel a few times. Um, when you are practicing spinning the ball on roulette, snap the ball. So you're going to hold the ball in between your two fingers right here, and you're going to snap. You want to keep your wrist straight. Do not fling your wrist. If you fling your wrist while you're spinning the ball, you could actually get a cyst in your wrist, and that is very, very painful, and you have to have surgery to take it out. If you snap the ball the wrong way and you keep doing it, you could get a cyst in your finger. And again, very painful. You have to have surgery to take it out. I know because I had a cyst in my finger and it was very painful and we had to have surgery to take it out. So I know from experience, you definitely want to practice snapping the ball correctly before you do this on a regular basis. And again, the dealer will be there to help you as you are going through this. So when you feel comfortable dealing the game and you want to actually try to do it, ask the floor supervisor if you could be shadowed on that game, and the dealer will shadow you and make sure that you're dealing it correctly. Do this for a while. Don't just expect to learn the game the first day. That's just not going to happen. It takes a good week or two, sometimes 3, to learn a game, especially something like roulette, which is much harder to learn. If you were learning, let's say, 3-card poker, for example, that might take a week to learn because it's an easy game. And you could do the same thing that I talked about for any game that you want to learn. So for 3-card poker, ask if you could watch the game, go home, practice, or practice in the dealer's break room. You can practice with a dealer who actually knows how to deal that game, and that will be very helpful for you as well while you're in the break room. Go home, practice it. And then when you come back, ask to be shadowed on it when you feel comfortable dealing the game. And eventually, when you think you could deal the game just without a shadow, ask your management if you could be auditioned for that game to put that game on the list of games that you know how to deal and can be put on at any time. So I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, again, please put it in the chat, the live chat. If you have any questions about how to play a casino game, how to deal a casino game, or how to invent a casino game, go ahead and put it in the live chat. And if you can, if you want to, please do a super chat because that does help very much. Thank you, Wayne, so much. I really, really appreciate the super chat. And it's good to see you. Hi. So yeah, please let us know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for your support. It really helps us keep everything going, especially now that we have a team of people working on this, which is so much easier than trying to do everything myself. And it means you guys are going to be getting content more regularly. So yay. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. John says, can dealers get in trouble for not noticing someone if they are counting cards? No, the dealer will not get in trouble for this. It is good. It is definitely good to be a dealer and be able to recognize when someone counts cards, but you will not get in trouble if you miss the fact that someone is counting cards. Typically, it is the floor supervisor's job to recognize this. However, back in the old days, floor supervisors used to only watch 4 games in a pit. Nowadays, they have floor supervisors watching 8 games in a pit, which makes their job so much harder. I really wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they would go back to 4 tables. But if you are a dealer and you want to know what to look for when someone is counting cards, the first thing to do is to know the blackjack strategy. Know when someone should hit, when someone should stay, when they should double down. And then if you notice someone playing by the book and then they start deviating from the book, that's a sign that they're counting cards. Another sign that they're counting cards is their bet spread when they're spread. So let's say they bet $5, $5, $5, $5, and then they go up to $100. That is a sign that they could be counting cards. So if their spread is pretty big, then that would probably be a sign that they're counting cards. And another way that a dealer could tell if someone is counting cards is by learning how to count cards yourself. You would not believe how many dealers know how to count cards. It's typically roughly about a third of them. So, well, let me rephrase that. So, about a third of casinos really enjoy, or a third of dealers really enjoy gambling in casinos. And then probably about half to three-fourths of that group know how to count cards. So it's not like every dealer knows how to count cards, but there is a good amount of dealers that do know how to count cards. And it is good for your job. If you are a dealer who wants to become a floor supervisor, learning how to count cards is definitely going to help you. And not only recognizing, if someone is counting cards, but it will help you to basically determine what people are doing. If you know how to count cards, you know what to look for when looking for someone who is counting cards. I hope that answers your question, John. Let me know if you have any more or if you want me to expand on anything. If you guys want to learn how to count cards, we have that on our website. Usually the high-low is the best way to count cards. I know there are so many people out there with the best strategy for how to count cards, but they are complicated and difficult to learn. And honestly, it's all about how fast you can count cards. And the best way to do that is by going with an easy system to make it easy for you. If you're trying to do a complicated strategy or a complicated way of counting cards, that's going to deter you when you're trying to keep up with the cards, especially, on blackjack, we're doing about 350 to 450 hands per hour. So it goes by pretty fast. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Put them in the live chat and I will answer them in the order that they are received. Alan says, if a person wins $1 million or more, what happens behind the scenes? Good question. It depends on the game. So, for example, when you win $1 million in a casino, typically you hit a jackpot. And that jackpot could be like the Mega Million slot machine, or it could be a Pai Gow Poker progressive jackpot. Just two off the top of my head that I'm thinking of. And when that happens, the casino is not the one that pays the $1 million. The company that owns the slot machine or the progressive jackpot is the one that pays the $1 million. So you're not going to get paid right away. You have to fill out paperwork. You'll usually decide whether you want to have your taxes taken out or not. Another thing that they do is you could decide to have a whole lump sum right up front, but it's not going to be the $1 million total. It'll be a little less than that. Or you could decide to get paid monthly installments until you reach that $1 million price tag or $1 million amount. So you have to wait. You don't get it right away. It could take anywhere from several weeks to maybe a month or two. I know that's one of the things that is a big myth is you get the $1 million jackpot and you walk out of the casino right then and there with $1 million. But it's actually good that that doesn't happen, because if it did, you would be much more likely to get jumped. So it's a good thing in the long run. I hope I answered your question, Alan. If I didn't, go ahead and ask me to, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Expand my explanation. I can't think of the word for it. Okay, let's see what else we have in here. Alan, if I wanted to invent a new casino game, how would I do that and what would I do? So that's a very good question. Inventing a new casino game is actually pretty difficult. Uh, our business, Vegas Aces, we help casino game inventors develop their game from idea to fruition. So this is a fantastic question. If you guys ever want to develop a casino game, please feel free to email me, heather@vegas-aces.com, and we will have a new client meeting where I could tell you where you are in the process, where you want to go, and how we can help get you there. So typically what happens is first you invent the casino game. Next is it's really good to get like a large piece of construction paper and draw out the felt layout of how you want your casino game to look. And then sit there and play with it, play that game with your friends and your family. They don't know the game, so they're going to have questions for you, which is fantastic. You want that because they're going to ask you questions that maybe you didn't think about. Write down the rules of how to play this game because having it in your head isn't going to help anyone. You have to have it written down. And when you write it down, you'll think of stuff that you didn't think about before, and you could write that down too. Also know that changes are completely normal when you invent a casino game. It's like writing a first draft of an essay. You're never going to turn in the first draft ever. You're always going to do a second draft and a third draft and a fourth draft until you get it just right. And that's how it is with casino games. You're going to make changes and then make changes and then make changes. That is totally normal. When you are done inventing your game and you think you have it pretty, good or pretty solid, then you would come to me and I would help you out. And the first thing we tell people is you have to get the math done. For a casino game, it's not just good enough to have the game itself. The math is what sells your game. The math is the most important part of your game. The math is determined on the how to play, on the rules. So you are trying to hit a sweet spot. Let's say, for example, you invent a game and that you take your game to the mathematician. They do the math and they come back with, well, you have a 15% house edge. Not good. You typically want a house edge between 2% and 4%. That's like the sweet spot. So you would go back to the drawing board and you would change some rules, and those rules would change the house edge, and you're trying to get it to a 2 to 4% house edge. So math is extremely important with the game. When you're done with the math, then you can develop the rest of the game, which is the felt layout, the rack card, a demo game, a website, that type of a thing. Another thing to consider is, do you want your game on the casino floor, or do you want the game, do you want to sell the game to a large corporation that's online? The large corporation online is a lot easier. If you want to put it on the casino floor, roughly about 1% of casino game inventors are actually successful in getting their game on the casino floor. So be aware of that. And it costs a lot of money. For a normal casino game inventor, they could spend anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 trying to get their game on the casino floor. Anyway, so I hope that pretty much answers your question about how to invent a game. There is a lot more to it. I don't want to take up the next 2 or 3 hours explaining it. If you have any other questions about that process, feel free to ask, or go ahead and email me and we could set up a new client meeting where I could tell you more about this in detail. And again, if you guys have any questions about how to play a casino game, deal a casino game, or invent a casino game, go ahead and put that in the chat. We have roughly about 15 more minutes for this AMA, possibly 20 more minutes before we end the AMA for today. So good to be here. Awesome. Yeah, I've been pretty busy lately. Sorry, Wayne. Alan, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's coming up here. I'm so focused on the Lunar New Year that I forgot about Valentine's. Yes, waiting would definitely suck if you won $1 million and you had to wait. So Wayne says, how much can a good dealer make in Vegas? Very good question. Casino dealers typically do the same thing regardless of what casino they're in. When you're dealing a game, you deal that game, regardless of whether you're at Caesar's Palace or the El Cortez. And casino dealers get paid minimum wage. In Las Vegas, the minimum wage is, I believe it's $8.25 an hour, but it might have gone up since then. After that, a dealer gets paid with their tokes, and that is determined by what casino or house that they work in. So you have a low tier, a medium tier, and a high tier, and all the dealers are trying to work up to the high tier. When you're working at a low tier casino, let's say a downtown casino like El Cortez or the Plaza, something like that, dealers will typically make between $25 and $75 on the weekdays in tokes. Also tips. Tokes is just a shortened version of tips. It means tokens of gratitude. If you are working, on the weekday, on the weekend, it would be anywhere from like $75 to $100 a day. If you do a medium tier casino, then you would be making roughly about $100 to $150 on the weekdays, and then $150 to $200 on the weekends, give or take. And if you work in a high tier casino, you would make about $200 to $300 on the weekdays. And then on the weekends, it could be anywhere from $300 to $500 per day. And again, it really just depends on what casino you work at, because every casino is different. If you want to know more information about this, we have a World Toke Board on our website, and that lists the pass numbers for different casinos, not only in Las Vegas, but also in casinos all around the world. It's really awesome. If you are a dealer and you want to contribute your toke numbers, then please feel free to email me at heather@vegas-aces.com, and we will put those numbers up anonymously. You will never be identified as the person who submitted those toke numbers. We completely understand that this has to be anonymous because casinos do not want you sharing your toke numbers with people. So I hope that helps to answer your question, Wayne. Let me know if you have any more. And again, if you guys have any questions on how to play, deal, or invent a casino game, put it in the chat. If you are watching this after the live stream, go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and I will answer your questions on the next AMA, which would probably be in about 2, maybe 3 weeks. You will find out the day before because we always schedule these live streams the day before. So that way you could click the little notify me button that YouTube puts on there for upcoming live streams. Okay, so our next question comes from John, who says, regarding counting cards, I asked my question since the dealer showed a 6 and I had 2 10s and asked for a hit, and the dealer said something to the pit boss. Let's see. Sorry, I meant to say split, not hit. Oh yeah, split. Yeah, if you're splitting 10s, the dealer's definitely going to notify the floor supervisor about that. Splitting tens is another red flag for possibly counting the cards. People don't typically do that unless they are counting cards or are extremely drunk and don't know what they're doing. So the dealer will notify the floor supervisor for that. Uh, okay, so I hope I answer your question, John. Wayne says, do players still use Mojo bags like some did in the 40s? I don't know what a Mojo bag is. In the chat, Wayne, explain what a Mojo bag is so I can answer your question better. I wasn't around in the 40s. I don't know. And yes, let's tip our dealers. Always tip our dealers. Thank you so much. We dealers live off of our tips or our tokes, so it means a lot when you can tip us. Thank you so much. And then Wayne says, can we sponsor an AMA? I don't know, maybe. Email me, Heather at vegas-aces.com. Let's talk about it. Okay, so a Mojo bag is used, a hoodoo, a hodo, hoodoo, hodo for good luck. I don't know about a Mojo bag, but as far as Lucky Charms, some players do put Lucky Charms on the table. They will. I've had one guy whose Lucky's charm was a little Lego guy, and he put the little Lego guy on his stack of chips. Another woman had like a lucky coin that she kept with her and put that on the table. Typically, if it's a lucky charm, the dealers will let the players have it on the table. Typically, you're not allowed to have like anything on the table unless it's a wallet, a drink, or you're smoking. If you're in a smoking casino, you're not allowed to have your phone at the table. That's a big no-no. And anything else really like food or paper or anything like that, you're not allowed to have on the table. But we will allow lucky charms on there. I remember one guy had, I guess you could call it a lucky charm. He had a dime bag of dirt on the table, and I wish I hadn't asked him that, but I asked him, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my dad." I'm like, "Excuse me?" His dad used to love playing in Las Vegas, and when he passed away, every family member got literally a dime bag of his ashes and carried it around with him when they went on their trip to Las Vegas. And they did all the stuff that he wished that he could do on the trip, gambled, saw a show, did all of the experiences that you would normally have in Las Vegas. And then at the end of their trip, and don't do this because you're not allowed to do this, they went to the Bellagio fountains and they dumped his ashes in the Bellagio fountains. And again, don't do this. Not allowed, but that's what they did. So people have some interesting ideas of what a lucky charm is. Um, okay, we are coming up to the end of this. If you guys have any more questions, I would get them in now before we ended the live stream. Again, if you have any questions about how to play, deal, or invent a casino game, please ask it. And then if you miss this or you think of something later on, I will be doing these AMAs regularly. We are going to be releasing videos 4 times a week. I'm going to be doing these AMAs once every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. In between that, I'll be releasing interviews. I have an interview video for you next week that I'm really excited about. So if you missed today, you can always come back and do it again. Okay, let's see what you guys have. I'm so glad you enjoyed the story. And thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, it looks like that's it. I don't see any more questions. All of the information that we shared today will be in the description later on. I'll try to do that before the end of the day. I have a few things that I have to record after this, so it will probably be later tonight when I get those links in the description. But everything we talked about should be in the description, so you could just click on that and then click the link to anything that we talked about. And tomorrow we have a funny video coming out. Really excited about that. All of our funny videos not only are coming out on YouTube, but they are coming out on our social media platforms as well. So please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, or TikTok. TikTok's the new one. So you should be able to see our videos on any of those social media links. Okay, I don't see any more questions, so I think we are done for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lot of fun, and it was great to see you guys here in the chat. And I hope to see you again next time. I hope you guys enjoy the new content that's coming out. And if you have any suggestions for content that you want to see, go ahead and put it in the comments or email me again at heather@vegas-aces.com, and we will try to accommodate that. It was great to see you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you, Aces. Bye.